So that's a C-. All right. On to Charlotte on the road. A better look on the road. I only watched the highlights, Dave.
Okay, let's start with this.
Start with it.
The starting lineup.
Yeah.
Right. So Sosa is back for this game. And on top of that, Josetu picked up a hamstring injury in training. Right. So we know we have to bring one sub in.
Yeah.
Right. For sure.
Oh, it's my favorite player.
And you got to figure you know, it has to be Sosa, right? As a replacement for Josetu. Right. Now, I think as you are correct in that ultimately Pineda has sort of switched it, and Ibarra is the more defensive of the two. So he's replacing Josetu, the more attacking of the two. And then you say obviously might be Sedic, but anyway, Sedic starts. No Sosa.
Who the hell is Sanchez?
Sanchez, that's Parata.
Oh, that's Parata. Okay, good. That's throwing me
Sanchez,
for a loop.
Parata.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a loop. But the other thing is, so Yakimakis makes his debut. He looks dynamic for the first 20 minutes. He has a full week of training, and they start Barry.
Who did nothing in the other game.
Oh, he did nothing in the other game, but
is this going to be another who's the goalkeeper? Why am I blank?
Rios Novo.
Rios Novo thing where he's going to go another 2 games of starting Barry without Gigi getting in the lineup. Papa Giorgio.
The one thing Pineda does is that, you know, when the team gets a good result, he sticks with it. He feels like so he doesn't allow himself to overrule the result. Like he's like, okay, there's a result, and even if so there was where was it? I have a note about it.
Sedic.
There was a moment, and I'm trying to find where my note is about it. So basically, Charlotte tried to give us a goal, right? They made a horrible back pass. The guy back passed it, past one of his own defenders, right? And it landed right at Barry's feet, right? Barry basically turned and had, basically a breakaway, right? And he started to take off on his breakaway.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he was moonwalking. Like he looked like he was going backwards as he was going forward. I mean, to say that he's slow is the understatement of the. I mean, their center back caught him from 20 yards in about 2 yards.
It was ridiculous. I couldn't believe it because he was central. He got the ball centrally.
Center in the middle park.
Centrally.
So could have angled any way he wanted to.
He couldn't hold him off. He couldn't everything. The guy was so much faster than he just kind of. I mean, he could have gone around him twice and then made a tackle.
Yikes!
It was horrible.
It was like watching a person move in slow motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, you ever see the Naked Gun with the steamroller and he's coming, you know?
Great. I have that visual in my head now. That's an amazing one.
Miguel Barry.
All right.
So, Miguel Barry probably would get caught by the steamroller.
I honestly thought he may have been hurt. Like when he first got the ball, I thought maybe.
Yeah, I'm like is he trying to run?
Pulled a hammy.
He looked like.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and watch this.
Holy cow!
This is why we have Apple TV. I can go back and watch this.
It was
all right.
It was absolutely.
I don't think this was in the highlight package. They must have protected it.
Probably was not. Like I thought maybe he thought he was
in the
outside.
It was in the bloopers package.
It was. I have it down as like 40th minute somewhere around there. So just so you
good to know.
You can go find it if you've got the game. If you're out there and you got the game recorded, go watch it. And you're like, I was texting with Carmen and I was like, what was that? And she said something about him being slow, and I had some. I was like,
I was like, I think if I had a good knee, I could have been faster. And he said, and Katz was like, if I had come right out of surgery in my wheelchair, I would have been faster.
So we win this game against Charlotte with less possession, I believe, right? Which is one of the few times we've had less possession than another team, right? So, what's your takeaway from that? That we are willing to give possession to Charlotte?
Well, that I think is
It's
people
rare
are
that that's not our philosophy.
Yeah, but people
though.
are saying that, but that's not true, right?
No,
Yes,
I'm just,
it's true. It's true that we give up more possession, but the only reason why we give up more possession is we had a 3-goal lead, right? So we were on the front foot in possession until we got the big lead, and then we just there was no need to so we just sat back.
Okay.
So I don't think that we really were giving them more possession overall.
Now Wiley scores in the first 10 minutes of the game, right?
Yes, and you'll never guess how that goal starts.
Let's go. Let's go.
I want you to guess.
I'm gonna guess that Araujo has or Almada has like room to run. I don't know.
Yes, so Almada had ball in a space off a press, counter, turnover, and that's what caused the whole thing. He slipped the ball right to Wiley, and Wiley was running perfectly, was taking off perfectly in stride, like right in rhythm, ran right onto it and scored. So that was fantastic. And so you're right, Almada was the recipient, and it was exactly what we've been talking about. If you can win the ball up the field and get Almada in space one-on-one, he can do real damage, and he showed it here. Yeah. But how did we get the ball?
How did we get the ball? I'm gonna have to guess the press out of the back, Dave. I don't know what happened here.
It was a sliding, diving tackle
from
by
your favorite person.
Oh, damn it! I knew this was a setup.
First tackle of his career, I think.
Okay, all right. So, hey, I love being proved wrong. So, like, that's the thing. Like, I will go from his biggest enemy to his biggest fan, but he sounds like maybe things.
I'm about to say, I wouldn't go that far. You haven't been proven wrong. We're just saying that he made a good tackle.
So I wrote in my notes, that's how it's supposed to work.
I know I'm not going to be proven wrong.
And I said, but Sedic is probably good for conceding a goal later.
You tried.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, so I mean, again, Almada looks great in space when he has the ball. Just again has his head up. He knows where everyone is in the field, and then he just lays that ball out to the left corner of the box. Wiley has all day to almost one of those moments where he's got too much time. So credit to Wiley for having some composure and rips it. Gets a solid foot on it. Not in the corner per se, but up and far enough in the corner, just kind of going under the crossbar, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah. The Martinez kind of finish. Just like put it in the net.
Yeah,
with
it was
some
nice.
Power.
It was
great. I don't think he sold it as much as a Martinez does, but it's a great finish.
Yeah, he didn't open up his hips and make it as clean as it could be and should have been, but at the same time, all credit to getting it done.
Okay, so then you would think, because we jumped out to a 3-goal lead, you'd think it was all good. But
hold on, let's go to the second goal because this all happened
before the second goal.
Oh, okay.
At 10 minutes and 23 seconds, Lennon was on the ball coming up the wing, right? And Araujo, he's running right towards Araujo, and Araujo does this, Mikey Dobbs. He was shuffling backwards.
Like, where do I go?
Where do I go? Trying to get out of the way.
Where do you go?
And I was like, all right. So, because I talked about it in the last game, right? That he was constantly crowding his space. I'm like, now he's literally dribbling almost into him. Like, he's like, I can't get out of your way any more than like.
I love that Carmen got my Top Gun reference.
Oh, yeah. Where do you go?
The original Top Gun.
Of course, yeah. And so I said right at that moment, right, that he's going to be frustrated and he's going to be double teamed and there's no way that Araujo scores. And then a couple of minutes later, who scores? Araujo. Yeah. Now, here's the difference, right? So that play, we win the ball. I don't know whether it was Gutman. I think it was Gutman maybe pressing up the field. We won the ball way up the field ahead of midfield. He played one touch to Barry, who dropped it back to Wiley underneath, who switched it to Araujo, right? And it was a quick counter, recycle the ball, get Araujo. And the difference being, so Araujo has been getting the ball basically 25, 30 yards out. He's been cutting in and then shooting long. Yeah. He got the ball. In this case, he was literally on the 18-yard box or maybe a step inside. And so when he cut in, it was like a 15-yard shot. instead of a 25-yard
Yeah.
shot, and then he did a beautiful job of putting it back towards the near post. And
He seems to be the instead of that curler to the far post, that seems to be a good way for Asia to score when he has that. I'm gonna put it far post. No, I'm gonna just cut it back to the near post.
He's really good at that one. Yeah, he's coming left to right and putting. And I think therein lies, basically the Pineda saying he should be inverted the cutting in. And if he's cutting in all the time inside the box, maybe. When he's cutting outside, in 25, 30 yards, he just blazes it over. But he can really hit a ball, but he blazes it about 5 yards over.
So another nice goal. We're up 2-0.
Yep.
On the road on a sunny day in Charlotte.
Yeah. And
celebrating, by the way, the life of Anton Walks.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That was a tragedy. I guess it was a boating accident.
Passed away in a boating accident.
So it was cool to see some of the celebration of Anton Walks, way too young. But
everybody was wearing armbands for it. It was really nice.
Yeah.
Both teams. And credit, super, super, super shout out to the Charlotte fans. They raised a huge tifo of Antoine Walks, and it had half Charlotte jersey and half Atlanta United jersey.
It's very cool,
which is classy.
Yeah, and then they had scarves.
That's not Orlando.
No, that's not
Orlando. Folks wouldn't have done that.
No.
So how do we get the third goal? Oh,
wait! Before we get to the third goal,
stop rushing him, Mikey Dobbs.
Because seriously. Right after we scored a second goal, you think we're flying high or whatever, and we were totally under the cosh. At the 14th minute, super, super marking and tracking, both by Juan Parada and Miles Robinson. And then a couple minutes later, Gutman comes off of his guy to make an amazing read of the danger and blocks a shot. If that's on Lennon's side, that's a goal, Mikey Dobbs. So awesome defending.
Yeah.
But we suddenly we had them in their end, and then not good. We're gonna give. That's a good team. We're gonna give up a goal.
If it's on Lennon's side, you're saying.
Yeah.
Or do you think that the pinching over of Miles can cover for that? Is that enough? Or are you going to get to that later, Dave?
We're going to get to that a little bit, but no, not so much. I'm not going to really talk about the defensive side about it. I want to talk about the offensive side because we've been talking a lot about the defensive side. But what I will say is that, we had that, then we were giving up some possession, and then I don't know what minute it was. Maybe Carmen remember exactly the minute it was, but Lennon defending in the box turns around, backs his butt into the guy, butt shot. Do you ever see the butt fumble? The Jets.
Is this the one they called the penalty and then called it back?
Yes.
No, hold on. I'm not going to give Lennon a hard time on this.
Really?
No.
That's the worst defending technique I've ever seen.
I am curious.
No, I just thought I just thought, I'm going to be frank. It was shitty refereeing. Not in any day of the week in the EPL would they even have called that on the field and then made VAR call it back, because
I agree.
In any universe, that was not a foul, right?
No, it wasn't a foul.
Not even like,
not
even
foul.
Like it was just
so
not even close.
The guy was shooting,
and it wasn't that much of a butt fumble either. It was just there's nothing to see here.
I don't agree with that.
It was
what I would say is
nothing to see here.
So the guy swung and missed, right in the box,
right.
And Lennon, instead of trying to block the shot, turns his back like he's being afraid, and then continues to back up into him, follows through, and hits him. Right? Now, no way in hell is that a foul because he missed a shot, like he swung and missed. But it's just stupid. You're going to get a foul like that.
I'm not a fan of Lennon's defending, but I'm going to defend him on this one. I disagree that it was a butt fumble or anything. It's just,
didn't we have a goal like that last year?
I just don't think there was nothing.
I think he gave up a goal exactly that, a penalty kick, the exact same way. Or was it Rio Snowbound?
There's nothing new to report here. Lennon never faces forward defending. He's always got his back to goal, right? So,
but that's bad.
It is bad, but that's what I'm saying. There's nothing to report here.
All right. So you already factored it in. That doesn't really count by saying you've already factored in that his defending is so bad that you're not going to call it bad because it's so bad anyway.
Well, it wasn't a butt fumble. I mean, it just wasn't great, and it certainly wasn't a penalty kick. I mean,
it was not a penalty kick, but it was a butt fumble.
I don't think so.
That was horrible.
Wasn't great.
Who defends like that? Have you ever done that? You play defense.
Of course I've done that.
You back in Oh, all right. Well,
I mean, I'm no Brooks Lennon. As much shit as I give him, I was never as good as Brooks Lennon. Come on.
Yep.
But yeah,
And then
I didn't think it was that bad. I think it was just bad refereeing on that
it was
situation.
bad.
They brought attention to something that otherwise should have
He
not
swung and missed so clearly.
Yeah.
That it shouldn't have been a foul. I
No.
agree.
Yeah.
Sadis right after that tries for a tackle and gets a yellow card.
Yeah.
And then he tops it all off. He tries to clear the ball in the box 3 minutes later. I don't know if you saw this, but he swings real hard and he almost missed the ball completely. He spun it and it went straight up in the air, 8 yards in the air, and then dropped back down.
Well, Pee Wee
for a
soccer
clearance.
move.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my goodness. He was trying.
Yeah.
He was absolutely trying to give something up, right?
You weren't expecting me to defend Brooks Lennon for a second there, were you?
I was not.
We took a curveball. We took a
me by
detour.
surprise.
Yeah. All right, keep going, Dave.
And actually was a little bit earlier than this, so I got a little bit reverse order. But there was just a few minutes before that, Sadich is defending in the box. He's watching the ball, and there's 2 guys in front of him. The 2 guys run in behind him, and he's looking up the field like, where'd who go?
Yeah.
It was horrible. He let 2 guys run to the penalty spot behind him and marked neither of them. Well, he didn't see either of them. I'm like, so he was trying to give it back.
Left nor the right eye working.
Oh,
geez.
good.
Somewhere in this
Lord.
mix, we got our 3rd goal though, Dave.
Yes. It was very close to halftime. I don't know, 45th minute, something like that, 46 minutes.
And who once again picks it up at midfield with space?
I don't remember. It was off a turnover. We got the ball up high up the field.
I believe
But
it was Almada who then plays it wide to Araujo, who then plays it back into Almada, who plays a brilliant dummy.
yes. So that's
And
what I know.
Most people would not have noticed the dummy, but I did. I was like, oh snap.
The
That
dummy
was
good.
the dummy was it's so overlooked. They didn't call it out in the commentary.
Can I read my notes?
Yeah.
And
Do it.
just so you know, I didn't make this up. How sick is that? Almada steps over the cross when everyone thought he was going to shoot, and Wiley with a tap in for the second.
It wasn't even, it wasn't even a step over.
I saw the same thing you saw.
It was a hop over.
Oh my god, it
Because
was
he
ridiculous.
fooled me. I was like, oh,
It
he's
was
definitely
nice.
gonna like take a nice little touch on this. And Wiley's like, oh, sweet, thank you.
He probably wasn't even expecting that. That was nice.
Yeah.
That was really
Well,
nice.
it's nice to see that there is rapport between the two, though. That's developing between Wiley and Almada. I think that can only be good for the future.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one thing is very, very clear. That one thing that is different in the early going is because we have 3 in the back, that allows us not to have one of our center midfielders covering in. And that means that they are up the field and we are turning the ball over up the field a little bit, even with Sadich.
Yeah.
Right? Could you imagine if that was Sosa?
Yeah.
Right? We're turning the ball over. And every time we turn the ball over, like we said all last year, when you get Almada Araujo running in space, Wiley running in space, look what happens. We score.
Yeah.
Right? We could have been doing that all last year, Mikey Dubs.
So the second half was,
And there's still a problem, right? Because it's still not perfect. It's better, but it's still a long way from perfect.